I don't want to say that Spurs feel fairly confident about this game, Guy Whittingham, but the presenter on the side of the pitch was pointing out that Harry Kane's only a hat-trick away from breaking Jimmy Greaves' all-time goal-scoring record.
Yeah, I did notice that. In a way, let's hope they win 4-3 and he gets a hat-trick. It'll be nice to be here when someone like that breaks the record, because it'll be talked about for a long time, and I was there when he did it. It's quite nice, but I hope it's not a hat-trick and a nil.
You know what? I will settle for a 4-3 Pompey win if you're going to offer that. If you're going to offer that to me now, wherever you're tuned in today, it's great to have you with us for the FA Cup third round. Portsmouth battled away at Hereford in round 1 to get to round 2, and then there was a rare good performance at home. We haven't seen many of them recently, but there was against MK Dons in the last round. The Pompey fans are booing the Tottenham anthem as Tottenham players are in the tunnel, ready, just waiting for Portsmouth to make their way out from the dressing rooms, and that tunnel area looks a bit like a foyer of a 5-star hotel.
Well, I think one of their lounges you actually see into it, don't you, or something? And
that's the Tunnel Club.
The Tunnel Club. I thought on the picture there, Oliver Skip, and he's not in the starting lineup, but it looked like he was in that first bit of the first team coming on. Yeah, there he is, look.
We will see if there
Davis
has been a late change to that lineup. He was originally listed on the bench, Oliver Skip, so we will see if there's been a change there as Harry Kane shakes hand with the referee. Let me run you through the lineups in full once more.
I think Pompey are keeping them waiting. Good tactic, but don't get them too angry.
That strikes me as a Simon Bassey kind of thing to do. He might have done that in his playing days. Fraser Forster's the Tottenham goalkeeper. Japhet Tanganga, Davinson Sanchez and Ben Davis are 3 centre-halves. Emerson Royal and Ryan Sessegnon the wing-backs. Pape Matar Sarr, Yves Bissouma the central midfielders. Harry Kane is flanked by Bryan Gil and Hyung Min Son, who's got 8 goals to his name despite not having a great season so far, and Tottenham are still waiting for Portsmouth to come out the dressing room. Hugo Lloris, Matt Doherty, Oliver Skip, Pierre-Emile Højbjerg, Christian Romero, Jed Spence, Clement Longley, Harvey White and Alfie Devine. Well, it's not directly Simon Bassey who's keeping them waiting. He has come out onto the pitch to applaud the Pompey fans to his left. They applaud back, and Sean Raggett leads Portsmouth out the dressing room into the tunnel. He is the only man in that picture who has got an FA Cup stamp named after him for his exploits in the competition. There is no one in the Tottenham team that can claim that.
That's interesting. You can look to his right and just say, Harry, have you got a stamp for the FA Cup?
I'm not sure it's Sean Raggett's style to say that, but it would be a good bit of banter as he came out the tunnel. The players make their way out onto the perfectly manicured green pitch down in front of us that has still got numerous groundsmen working on up until the minute. And those around us rise and applaud as the players come out and stand in front of the FA Cup banners, and the public address system announces the sides. Portsmouth have got Josh Griffiths in goal. Michael Morrison, Sean Raggett and Conor Ogilvie are the 3 centre-halves. Swanson and Hume the wing-backs. Tunnicliffe Morrell and Hackett as the 3 behind Owen Dale, who support Colby Bishop up front. Josh Oluwayemi, Joe Pigott, Ronan Curtis, Kieran Freeman, Louis Thompson, Michael Jacobs, Josh Koroma, Adam Pace and Josh Dockrell. It is fantastic to see Louis Thompson back among the substitutes today.
Yeah, it is. He's been blighted by injuries, hasn't he, throughout his career, and true to form, it was the same for Portsmouth, but nothing he could do about that one. It wasn't as if he twisted her ankle or anything. It was the collision that was the problem.
Well, Pompey are going to warm up in front of their supporters. Tottenham posing for a photo. Guy, interesting they've kept with the 3 centre-halves. You thought they might have gone a back 4?
Yeah, I thought they might have gone a 4-5-1, but it's they've kept with that back 3. Obviously, Ogilvie, who himself ex-Spurs, will be loving the opportunity to be here, playing as the left centre-half. Raggett in the middle and Morrison on the right. And then the 2 wing-backs. But it'll be I would think it'll be very much a 5-4-1. Even Bishop I would see coming back halfway into his own half and get people behind the ball. Like Bassey said, staying in the game. And
it's about, you don't want someone like Michael Morrison left 1-on-1 against Son in those areas around the penalty area. Referee today, Thomas Bramall from Sheffield, who is a Group 1 referee, had his career affected by an ACL injury. He's done 3 Pompey games. Pompey have won all of them, the last of which AFC Wimbledon. And today we have goal line technology and VAR. I think this is the first Portsmouth game where VAR. We have got monitors in front of us. I don't think we get to see exactly the same thing that VAR sees, but we will have to be aware of that one. So when you're celebrating Pompey's last-minute winner, just remember that we'll hope VAR isn't in position to chalk it out. Antonio Conte gives Simon Bassey a big hug. Pompey are in their huddle. They're in their usual home strip. We are right at the top of the West Stand. Pompey will go from left to right in this first half. Tottenham, usual colours, that is white shirts, dark blue shorts and white six. The FA Cup, BBC Radio Solent Sport, and we are underway here at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, and Pompey immediately send it long to the left-hand side. Bishop nods in field, Morel gets it, and Pompey will go down that left again.
Yeah, Skip's come in for Basuma.
You're right, that is a late change made by Tottenham. So Basuma not starting, and Skip in. I think they've probably got enough bodies, they could get an extra one on the bench if needed. The only thing looking at this Tottenham team is obviously the front line sticks out as Pompey have got the ball down by the right corner flag. Good attacking position for Bishop. What can he make here? Trying to win Pompey a corner kick, goes to ground, isn't getting a free kick, and then it's out for a Pompey throw down by the corner flag. It isn't a back three in terms of centre halves. We've had a huge amount of football, and certainly you look at someone like Davinson Sanchez, he's been a bit of a flop since joining Tottenham. It's not a defence that you fear, you just suspect how the game will go. They may not necessarily have that much to do, or certainly be pressed the whole way. Portsmouth have got a long throw, and Ogilvy's going to send it into the Tottenham penalty area, gets good distance, rag at the target, good flick on, but Tottenham will head it away. Morel's got it 40 yards out, back to Ogilvy, touch, ball to come back into the Tottenham box, lovely cross, headed up into the air, over Tottenham's bar, roof of the net, and the Pompey fans celebrate a corner kick like it's a goal.
It's a great start, isn't it? Exactly what they need to do. So, I mean, I was just surprised that Ogilvy down this right-hand side had acres of space. Even when he controlled the ball, just take your time then and deliver. I expected them to be right on top of us straight away.
Textbook Ogilvy cross, just put it in a good area, go attack it. Right-footed in-swing corner, Tunnicliffe sends it towards the near post. Tottenham head that one away. That was Tanganga who got a good header on the ball. Hume goes back out to the left to Morel, and then back to Tunnicliffe, and he's got time if he wants to put one in. Ball to Hackett, and Hackett rides one challenge. He's fouled surely there. The free kick doesn't come Portsmouth's way, and Tottenham try and break forward. Here's Kane in midfield, and they've got numbers over to the right-hand side, but the ball to Hill is not particularly good. He had to go and retrieve it as he drives towards the penalty area for Tottenham, into the box. Good challenge there by Swanson on Kane, and then Pompey decide anywhere will do a clearance.
This is the only problem. Don't just kick it anywhere and just pressure mount and mount and mount. Just try and get in an area where there's a Pompey player close to it.
Sessegnon to Son, who's still wearing that mask because of the facial injury he picked up before the World Cup. Ball goes back to Ben Davies, who's a Welsh international teammate of Joe Morel, of course. Here is the aforementioned Davinson Sanchez, the Colombian international, and Tottenham come down this left-hand side. It's 0-0, and we're about to go past the 3-minute mark as Tottenham have got it centrally placed, 40 yards from Portsmouth's goal. Sarr out to the right-hand side, and Royal up against Hume. Step over, cuts in field, 20 yards out for Tottenham. Dale scrambling back, intercepts the ball, but gives away a corner in doing so. Yeah,
good interception from him. He'd sort of placed himself at central defence so he could make be able to tackle back as well as go forward if the ball was won.
So Skip in for Basuma, the late change. There are plenty of big bodies for Tottenham to aim for in the middle. The Son goes out to take the corner, and the noise levels are high. And it's not just the away fans making themselves heard. Son lining it up, Pompey with everybody inside the penalty area. Morel's gone potentially for the short one, but Son doesn't look like he's going to be doing that from here as he puts his left hand in the air. Corner for Portsmouth to defend. Referee not happy with a bit of pushing and shoving going on with Tanganga and Hume, who's trying to keep Griffiths clear to have a run at the ball if necessary. Referee blows the whistle, and Son again marks his run up very, very carefully. 0-0 the score. Tottenham corner. Son whips it in, good delivery, no one gets anything on it. It's going to be picked up on the edge of the area, and Tottenham will go back to halfway to try and come again. Sessegnon out to Skip on that left touchline, and Kane coming back to halfway, plays a short pass to Tanganga, and Sarr goes out to the right hand side, and Tottenham enjoying possession, and Pompey are very happy for them to have it not only inside their own half but 10 yards inside Pompey's half. Terrible ball from Tottenham, straight out for a Pompey throw, 0-0.
Yeah, it's just been, you know, making sure everybody around you is aware, keep talking to each other, left and right of you, you know, behind you and in front of you, keep your distances, you know, at the very least make it, as we've said before, I mean, in league games, make it difficult for somebody, for the opposition to score.
Swanson throws it down the line, and Bishop heads that infield. Dale looks for Hackett, can't find him.
You've got to keep the ball there though. You know, it's just dropped nicely for Dale, and he can take a touch, he's not under pressure. Yeah, you've got to keep the ball there.
And certainly with someone like Hackett today, he's got a wonderful left foot. If he's 30 yards away from the goal and he's not under pressure, pull the trigger. Here is Hackett on the centre spot. Pompey gain cheap possession and they opt to keep it there, but they're forced back towards Conor Ogilvie, and he comes across to Michael Morrison. Swanson on that right touchline, infield, Tunnicliffe, back to Swanson, nice touch infield to Morel, Pompey working it forward, but Morel can't find Bishop. Morel is fouled though, that was a late challenge, and Portsmouth have a free kick on halfway, and Morel is down on all fours on the ground in a bit of discomfort. It's Tottenham 0, Portsmouth 0.
Yeah, nice bit of confidence that shows, that little touch inside.
Bassey having a word with that Swanson.
Well, of course he'll be enjoying it, Swanson, won't he, being an Arsenal player.
And he would have got a taste for these kind of stadiums. The second half of last season, he was on the bench numerous times at Arsenal. Never got on. That's the danger of 9 substitutes in the Premier League. You can have some youngsters on there, they won't see any action, but he knows what it's like to be at these grounds, as Hackett sends a long ball to nobody and straight behind for a Tottenham goal kick. 0-0 BBC Radio Solent.
And maybe those are the areas you can't afford to waste, an opportunity to get the ball into the box.
Or at least send it near someone. Tottenham have it through Sarr, the Senegalese international, inside his own half. Out to this left-hand side. And now Tottenham with Son on halfway, on the left, trying to come forward. He's got Tunnicliffe for company. And Son goes back to... We talked about the pace we expected Tottenham to play at. They've been fairly leisurely so far.
It's in the important areas when they suddenly speed it up. I think the quality you expect anyway, don't you? That's what you expect.
Tottenham are 5th in the Premier League table, 2 points off 3rd in what seems to widely be perceived as not a great campaign for them so far, but they're into the Champions League knockout stages, and they are very much in contention in the top 4. As on the far side, the right, there, have it through Tanganga, and then a touch out on the touchline and back to him, and Spurs go back inside the centre circle, and now up to this near left-hand side. It's there for Davis, 10 yards inside Pompey's half, in from the left touchline. He's got Sessegnon outside him. Here's Skip, and Tottenham just edging forward, still at that leisurely pace. When will they put their foot on the accelerator? That is a bad foul from Kuhn. He has been well and truly defeated by Emerson Royal, and I think he's lucky not to go in the book for that. The free kick is on the touchline, level with the Pompey penalty area, 0-0.
Yeah, caught on the shin, I think.
I didn't really have Hume down as the man for the early reducer.
Shin to shin. I mean, he's not
got anywhere near the ball though.
No, he's not. But I think if that's a League One player, he's back up quite quickly.
Well, Son's going to deliver, and Hill is over there as well to potentially deliver. But surely Son is going to take it. Hill is just a distraction for Son, who sends this ball into the Pompey penalty area. Heads go up, Raggett wins it, edge of the penalty area. Oh, bad touch by Tottenham. Tunnicliffe not in a position to in any way take advantage of it, and on halfway Tottenham again slow things down before they try and build up the speed. That's good skill from Davis to get away from Swanson, and now down that left hand side, Sessegnon with a chance to get a cross in. Morrison closing him down, crosses off Morrison behind, and Tottenham have got another corner kick. And again Son will come to take it, this time from the left-hand side, a right-footed in-swinger. And again, referee just looking to make sure there's no pushing. as it is short this time. Back to Son. Will he deliver first time? Pompey with 2 over there. Morel is with Swanson. Now an opportunity for Sarr, and it's 1, and Pompey might have a chance for a counter-attack here, and the ball is sent looking for Dale on the right-hand side. He's sprinting over halfway, he's forced wide, and it's more white shirts getting back than blue as Dale comes in field and then slows things down. Back to Swanson.
No, that's good from Portsmouth. Get the ball up the pitch, you know, as quickly as you can, and then you can slow it down a bit.
Keep him on the left, early ball into the box. Forster comes, and the giant figure of Fraser Forster claims that one easily and is booed. I don't think he's going to look forward to defending the goal in front of the Pompey supporters to our left.
I can't quite make out that word they're using.
No.
Where's he caught that, the Pompey fans? Couldn't quite hear it.
No, I reckon we might get a few more chances to hear said word, Guy. Pompey, of course, 12th in League One, 9 points in the playoffs. There are some games in League One today. Skip tries to play through Portsmouth into the penalty area. His cross deflects off Raggett and into Griffiths' arms. And Portsmouth have seen out the opening 10 minutes without conceding. It's 0-0.
And they should feel good about it because they've not really been threatened, have they? Griffiths hasn't touched the ball that much. I know they've not done anything the other end, but it's defending your goal first and foremost. Spurs, I suppose, of recent weeks and games, renowned for being sort of slower starters.
Terrible in the first half, good in the second, is what a Spurs supporting friend of mine described it as. They've lost 3 of their past 6, Tottenham, having previously only lost 4 games all season. Harry Kane gives a thumbs up to a ball that was aimed to him but goes straight through to Griffiths, the Portsmouth goalkeeper, who can pick that one up. And Griffiths will put it down and launch it beyond halfway. Looks for Bishop, and it's beyond him. Dow's trying to keep the ball in play, can't, and Tottenham will have a throw deep inside their own half. Remember, 2 yellow cards in this competition leads to suspension. Mingy and Koroma, the only Pompey players on a yellow, neither on the pitch at the moment, as Pompey get cheap possession, and Hume has it outside the centre circle and finds Morel, short to Hackett, tried to chip it to the left, but he gives position straight to Hill, and then Spurs are equally sloppy and give it straight back to Tunnicliffe, and Pompey have got it through Morrison, out to this right-hand side to Swanson, in Spurs territory. Long ball looking towards Bishop. Bishop battling for it. Hackett with that second ball, and he tried to take it round Sarr. Hume will get it into the box. Bishop's free. Bishop looks for Hackett. Hackett with the overhead kick, and Forster pushes it wide and away for a Pompey corner.
Well, it's good play. Certainly Hume with that cross. He noticed that as the ball went out wide out there, Bishop's drifting to the far post, although he's between the 18-yard box and the penalty spot. So when the ball came, he wasn't going to be able to get a header on goal, but put it back in a dangerous area where Hackett was. Overhead kick, didn't quite get much power into it, but it got on target, and yeah,
corner comes into the Tottenham box. Forster gets a good punch to it. Son helps the header away.
Foster for me should be catching that ball, but he's geared a corner away anyway.
Chipped into the middle. Tottenham headed out. Hackett trying to get on the edge of the box. So is Hill, and Hackett beats him to it, but illegally so. And it's a Tottenham free kick inside their own half. The score is still 0-0.
Well, was that for high arms? I don't know, because Hackett's fairly tall, Gill's fairly small.
Yeah, not sure. I don't think you get that one.
Where your arms are there, can you?
I don't think you get that one in League One. 1 win in 6 for Portsmouth in all competitions, and that win was probably the least significant game of the lot, the Stevenage win in the EFL Trophy, as Davis brings the ball forward over halfway for Tottenham to the left-hand side, 40 yards out. Sessegnon back to Ben Davis, infield, here's Sarr going from left to right, near to far as we look across the pitch. Spurs still in possession, 10 yards inside the Portsmouth half. Here's Sanchez in the centre circle, and Davis coming out to the left-hand side to Son, up against Swanson. Son looking to take him one step over, cross into the box. Morrison's there, and Swanson puts it behind for another Tottenham corner kick, 0-0.
Well, it's good organisation from Portsmouth. When that ball was delivered, you've got 4 players along the 6-yard box. You've got another 3 players in front of them between the 6-yard box and the penalty spot. So any ball in has got to be right on the money, and the run to get on the ball has got to be right on the money.
Tottenham corner from the left-hand side. Son once more to deliver. This is deep to the far post. Griffiths punch, not great. Loose ball in the 6-yard box. Kane gets a foot to it. Pompey get it and scramble it away. Griffiths got the space to get a connection on the ball. He just somewhat punched underneath it, and then Tottenham win it back 40 yards out, and Royal will drive forward into the box, and it's gone behind. Oh, well, it's gone straight through to Griffiths, who will collect that easily.
Yeah, scramble, ended up a scramble, and Portsmouth, that's one of those areas where, you know, you need to be a little bit fortunate. Harry Kane didn't quite get on that. Poor punch by Griffiths, under a lot of pressure.
By Hume, who's managed to block it, actually.
Yeah, Hume, it comes off Hume, it drops down so Portsmouth can clear it. Other times in other games you see it drop down to an opposition player.
Centre circle, Sarr goes out to the right hand side to Royal on halfway, and then back to Davinson Sanchez, who will come forward out to this left hand side to Davis. Davis looking into the penalty area. Pompey get a foot in and might be able to bring it away with Hackett under pressure, who looked for Dale, who wants a free kick, who's not going to get one, and Tanganga brings it forward for Spurs to Royal out on the right hand side. Emerson Royal goes back towards Tanganga as the home end tries to make some noise away to our right. Spurs have it outside the Pompey penalty area on the left wing. Sessegnon up against Swanson, and Spurs will go back to Skip, and Skip keeps it moving, and it's picked up by Sarr up to the right hand side. Hill looks to try and deliver, and he will send that into Griffiths' arms.
Yeah, you can see what he's trying to do there, just get it over the head of Raggett, and not as far as the goalkeeper, because Kane went in behind Raggett then, but overhit.
This is where someone like Sean Raggett, he'll back himself and balls in the air to fight these quality players. He won't necessarily want to see them running at him outside the penalty area.
Hume just coming inside, and as he's coming inside, Bishop's holding his position. He takes another touch, and Bishop has then got to get out of that position because he's then marked, and that's when Hume played the ball.
0-0, Spurs come down the left hand side. His son, who is a legendary figure in career, down to the left hand side to Ben Davis. Spurs again playing at a fairly leisurely pace and just waiting to try and speed things up as they look down the right hand side to Sarr to Royal. Royal's got two blue shirts to beat. Instead he goes infield to Gill, who steps away from Morel, and in stepping away from Morel he runs out of road, and it supports with goal kick to our left.
Yeah, and they're being put under pressure, aren't they, in that? In Portsmouth defending third, they're attacking third. It's Portsmouth at this moment in time are defending well. They're following runners, they're keeping their spaces between each other. When the ball goes back, they're stepping up, they're putting pressure on the people on the ball.
Right, 16 gone, time for some FA Cup trivia. Last time, on their way to winning the FA Cup in 1991, Tottenham Hotspur beat Portsmouth by 1-0. Who started up front alongside Guy Whittingham on that day? As Bishop is penalised, and he can't quite believe that the tussle with Davis has gone the Spurs man's way.
Sorry, say that again, Andrew. 1991,
en route to winning the FA Cup as Tottenham try and break him behind, too far the ball, and Griffiths picking up. Tottenham beat Portsmouth by 1-0. No, was it 2-1? I can't remember.
That's what
2-1. 2-1 was the
2-1.
score. That's not the question. The question is who started up front alongside Guy Whittingham that day for Portsmouth in 1991, February 91.
I don't think it was Warren Aspinall.
It wasn't Warren Aspinall.
Clark? No, it wasn't Clark, was it?
It was
Colin Clark.
Yeah. Clark, as Skip fouls Morel, who's been in the wars, and Pompey got a free kick on halfway. Mark Chamberlain, the Pompey player on target that day.
He was a great player, Chambo, you know.
You know, his son's decent as well.
Yeah, he's not bad. Got back in the side at last. You on about Christian, of course.
Christian, decent, yeah. Long ball forward by Pompey, and it's come off a Tottenham head. It won't go out of play though. Spurs will keep it and keep possession. Tottenham won their first 3 meetings with Pompey in the FA Cup. They did not win the most recent meeting between the two sides at Wembley in 2010.
Yes, I've heard Portsmouth fans singing the soul, picking up the cup a few times already.
2010 though, Pompey underdogs against Harry Redknapp's Tottenham, as Tottenham run out of space again with a long crossfield ball. It's behind for a goal kick. 2-0 win after extra time at Wembley. That semi-final, memorable day. So Portsmouth have got a goal kick, and there's 18 minutes gone on the clock. It's Tottenham 0, Portsmouth 0. And Pompey be okay. You would think if you were a Spurs fan, you'd want them to just up that tempo a little bit more quickly and more regularly.
I think you would. But I don't know, you know, I've been here for a home game, but maybe they're used to slow starts and didn't think anything else. But
whether they like them, they've certainly been used to slow starts this season. Morel wins it for Pompey in midfield, and Morrison goes to Raggett, and Pompey will come out to this right-hand side. Not great ball to Swanson, but he makes it a good pass. And now Tunnicliffe darting down the right for Portsmouth, waiting for Swanson to help him out. Tunnicliffe needing some help, and Morel was there, but Son intercepted the path. Tunnicliffe wins it back, legally so, says the referee, and I think he got that one right.
I like the little positions that Hackett and Tunnicliffe are taking up. They're causing problems to Skip and Sarr. They're not afraid to go, you know, in advance of them in that gap between the midfield and defence.
That is a very, very, very easy decision for the referee to give a free kick to Joe Morel.
Yeah, it's good for Morel. He believed in his touch. He managed just to manipulate the ball, invite Sarr in, and then just skip past him. What they will be noticing today, Portsmouth without a doubt, is the feel of a player that plays in the Premiership against you. It's just muscle. You know, it's very athletic and very strong. So bumps like that, you'll feel.
Morel has had 4 or 5 of them. He's up and going. And Griffiths is going to take this Pompey free kick. 20 gone, Tottenham 0, Pompey 0. BBC Radio, Solent Sport, home of live sport across the south. Swanson with a good header for Pompey. Dale trying to get it outside the penalty area. Tottenham win the first header. Dale trying to get to the second. Him and Hackett went for the same ball, and Pompey get it to Swanson on the right. Now Dale out level with the penalty area on that touchline. Comes in field to Tunnicliffe. Tunnicliffe looking in the penalty area. Hackett's made a good run, but he won't keep that one in. The ball was not quite perfect, and that's where it needs to be in those situations. 0-0, goal kick Spurs.
I think if that had been the right pace and stayed in, I think it might have just been offside. It would certainly have gone to Sarr if a goal came from it. Sarr? VAR.
No, Sarr's in midfield.
Yeah, I got it now.
If the referee went to him to ask, I wouldn't be too happy. Davis is going to bring it over halfway for Tottenham. Bit of a stalwart of the club. Joined from Swansea all the way back in the summer of 2014. This is work to the inside right channel. Tottenham are 40 yards out, and again knocking it around comfortably.
Good defensive position. We can see it from up here, can't we? The way Pompey are set up.
Ball comes into their box. Tunnicliffe blocks it, and he blocked it behind for a Tottenham corner kick there. No, I'm wrong. It didn't go out for a corner. Tottenham throw down by the corner flag. Yeah,
it's a sort of 5 at the back, then 3 in front of that, and then Dale and Bishop 2 in front of that. So if they do get the ball, they can break quickly, as we've seen a couple of times.
I was right the first time. It is a corner. Son to take for Tottenham. Plenty to aim for in the middle. Where's this one going to go? Again in towards the 6-yard box, and Bishop gets his head to the ball and only diverts it over his own goal, and was somewhat relieved he got a bit of elevation on that header.
Yeah, certainly. He's just moaning at the ref. I think he felt there was a bit of contact there that wasn't right. I mean, so much goes on in that area now, doesn't it? Penalty box area from corners, that what's a foul and what's not a foul. There's probably 7 or 8 fouls going on at once.
Slightly strange that Hume is the man marking Kane. As Kane comes to the near post, corner goes to the far. It's dangerous again, and Pompey through Raggett win that header. They are really whipping these corners under the bar. Hill picks it up outside the penalty area for Spurs, trying to break back in and get a ball into the box. Everyone stayed forward. Still danger here. Tunnicliffe doing the defending. Out to the right. Can a ball come into Pompey's penalty area? Royal picks it up, and Spurs are being forced away from the box.
Yes, good defending. Very good defending. Forcing them out. Don't let them get anywhere near being able to stop the cross. Don't let him get the cross in.
Son now, dangerous. He tries to come into the Portsmouth penalty area. He's in there. Couple of step overs. Swanson dives in and wins the ball. Good challenge from Zach Swanson, and he clears out for a throw. We've gone past the midway point of the first half. Tottenham 0, Pompey 0.
Very good from Swanson. Stood up, didn't dive in. Son with all the step overs, trying to get him to move. He kept his eye on the ball, and then when it was the right time, he timed the challenge well and won the ball cleanly.
Spurs with Sarr, who came on at half-time for Senegal in their defeat to England in the second round of the World Cup. Gets it out to the right for Tottenham, who have it 40 yards from goal and then work it back towards halfway. Here's Sanchez out to Davis on the left. Those centre-halves seeing a huge amount of the ball for Spurs. Here's Son now, looking to whip a cross in from the left. Instead opts to go short to Davis, and Spurs will try and work it somewhere else. Simon Bassey shouting instructions at his team.
Mentally tiring for Portsmouth in these sort of positions here, because you know, as one of those central three defenders, you can't switch off for a second.
Son, 40 yards out, inside left channel, forced back, no way through the 11 blue players at the minute, and it is all 11 of them back defending. The Spurs work it out to the right, 30 yards out. Still they push, they probe, they can't find a way through as yet. Pompey still standing firm, but taking its toll, you would think, physically and mentally on Portsmouth. Sessignon on the left wants to take on a couple of step overs to get past Swanson to the dead ball line, trying to cross it, blocked by Swanson again, back off Sessignon, and Portsmouth have themselves a goal kick. It's Tottenham 0, Guy Whittingham. What would you say about these opening 25 minutes?
Well, first of all, again, good defending. Sessignon that time trying to get to the byline, Swanson doing a good job. Yeah, I think they've done very well. Probably more than could be expected, I think. You know, I thought they Spurs haven't had a chance, have they? Not you know, there's nothing that Griffiths has had to do as yet. And at the other end, you know, they've gone down the other end and been pretty competent. Okay, you know, they've managed to test the man from down the road who's playing in goal for them on the one occasion with that overhead kick from Hackett, and they've had a couple of set pieces. So far, yeah, they've been excellent.
It was a tough chance for Hackett. It was a decent effort. He got it on target, but huge figure of Fraser Forster saved. As Tottenham come forward again, here's Davis over halfway on that left side, early ball in the box, it's taken on by Skip. Has he overrun it? It's behind for a goal kick. He wanted a corner, Griffiths came out, he didn't get it, 0-0.
Yeah, he's made a few of those runs, hasn't he? Beyond Kane, into those sort of areas between Raggett and Morrison. Just his touch was a bit heavy for him.
Have you seen
Griffiths
much of him developing, Oliver Skip? He's just sort of broken through.
No, I've seen him for a long time. He's been up with the first team since he was probably about 17 on occasions. One of those they recognised fairly early. And under Pochettino, they wanted players, you know, he wanted the next player to go up and train with him. That was the challenge. So he's, I wouldn't say he's not a steady Eddie, because he wouldn't be in the first team if it wasn't something about him, but, you know, very positive in the way that he plays, very safe.
Hume wants a free kick, won't get it. Skip joined Spurs as a 13-year-old. Pompey win the ball and then lose it again. And then Bishop tried to hack Gill down and couldn't do so. And now Tottenham bring it over halfway, and Skip runs into Morrison. That is a late challenge on Morrison. He's down in pain, and the ball has gone out for a Pompey throw, and Morrison is on his knees. And he's not one to stay down if
he's not. I'd like to see that challenge again, and we'll be able to.
We'll see it
because we've got a monitor.
Yeah, we don't get those usually in League One. It was a 50-50 that Skip's gone in. Oh, that's painful. He's trying to get the ball, but he's late, isn't he?
Yeah, he is.
To me, that's a free kick and a yellow. But VAR obviously would only get involved if they thought it was a red. It's a Portsmouth throw. Listen to BBC Radio Solent Sport. It's Tottenham 0, Portsmouth 0.
I suppose the saving grace with both players were sliding in.
Yeah.
But you've seen him given, that's for sure. Well, in fact, Morrison wasn't sliding in. He was
jabbing at the ball and got the ball. Right. Yeah, that's a foul to me. But it's probably not severe enough for VAR to get involved. BBC Radio Solent Sport on air through until 6 o'clock this evening. We've got Burnley-Bournemouth coming up from 3. After the game, we will chat about how things have gone here, and we will get reaction from Simon Bassey and from a player, and that will go up on BBC Sounds if you can't hear them on the radio. I'll let you guess who might have the ball at his feet as Forster then passes it on.
And if you need another clue, he's a long way from the fans.
Yes. I'm sure he's not relishing defending the net where the Pompey fans are directly behind. 0-0, Tottenham coming forward down the left-hand side as it's Sanchez over to the right, and Tottenham try and come forward. Here's Hill just outside the penalty area, ball to Son is intercepted, and Dale wins it for Portsmouth, and he immediately goes off on a sprint. Normally you feel he'd be able to use his pace to get past people, but it turns out Heung-min Son's fairly quick. Ogilvie, has he played himself in trouble? No, he's got himself out of trouble and played a nice ball to Hackett, and Pompey are driving forward here. Good run this from Hackett. Can he make the right pass? Dale's on the left, attacking position for Pompey. Dale cuts past one challenge. Bishop's in the box. Will he go early? Keeps it moving across to Tunnicliffe, 40 yards out for Pompey. Swanson's forward as well. Swanson against Sessignon, infield to Morrell, back to Swanson, and the Olays have started as Swanson goes back to Josh Griffith. But Pompey, crucially, getting a little bit of possession, giving the defence a slight breather. Still 0-0. And a blind pass from Hackett was not a good idea.
Don't you just love fans? It's brilliant.
Son falls to the ground. He gets a free kick there. Now Spurs come forward down that left-hand side with Davis out to the touchline. Sessignon looking down to the dead ball line. Davis's cross is deflected behind, and that will be Spurs' 6th corner.
Yeah,
this opening half hour.
Sorry, Andrew. Tunnicliffe doing a good job as well. Just following the run. Just always might have been a bit late, but stop the cross.
0-0. Tottenham fans are probably enjoying this opening half an hour. Don't forget, Portsmouth still on that search for the new manager. No real obvious clear candidate has emerged as yet, as the corner is due to come into the penalty area. Son looks to where Griffiths is, and Griffiths claims that easily. And Bassey tells him, calm it down. Important for Griffiths, not just for his confidence, but that might give Tottenham second thoughts about whipping those balls under his crossbar again.
Yeah, absolutely. It was good to see him catch that actually, and not go to punch it.
Raggett's got the ball deep inside his own half. Of course, his winning header for Burnley, for Lincoln against Burnley, a very rare moment of Danny Cowley's non-league side beating Premier League Burnley.
You'd think he'd get awarded with his, face on a stamp or something like that, wouldn't you?
I would say it's the minimum he deserved. Here's Son down the left side for Tottenham, just outside Pompey's penalty area. Dummies to cross. Now will send it in right-footed and straight to Griffiths once more. It's the danger of that inverted winger and that in-swinging cross. Still 0-0.
Yeah, Son having a little moan up there. There's nobody attacking that cross. He wasn't happy. I wouldn't say it's the best cross, but one of those dangerous areas. If you have got someone running in, it'll just glance it, flick it on.
Griffiths is going to drop kick over halfway. Bishop doesn't get to that one. Dale trying to get to the second ball. He won't, but it will go out of play for a Pompey throw 40 yards from goal, and Swanson's jogging to take it. I just want to slow it down a little bit. Noise coming almost exclusively from the 9,000 away fans now to our left-hand side. Ogilvie is going to take a long throw, or try to, in towards the box. Tunnicliffe saying, give it to me short. Swanson has come to give Son a big hug, and then Ogilvie's throw looks towards Bishop. Can't win the flick on. Ball loose outside the penalty area. Header forward by Morrell. Spurs looking to try and instigate a counter-attack. Swanson got there first and gets it back to Ogilvie, who's in all kinds of space, so decides to run forward. He's 40 yards from goal. Finds Morrell. Dale is calling for it. That ball was too obvious, so Morrell instead comes back to Tunnicliffe. Pompey enjoying possession and enjoying it in the Spurs half, and still with parity at 0-0 as Hume goes to the left-hand side. Now can Dale beat his man? Step over. Dale turns one way and the other. Left-footed cross to come into the box is blocked by Royal. He had that half yard.
I thought that first opportunity to cross it, he got himself plenty of space to do so. I think he should have done it then. I think Bishop would have preferred it then.
Ogilvie's going to come across and take a long throw, and Thomas Bramall allowing Ogilvie. I'd call that a token jog. It's not much quicker than a walk. That's what you've got to do against an elite team like this. You've got to shorten the game where you can.
Absolutely.
So Ogilvie to send the long throw into the Spurs penalty area. Tottenham 0, Portsmouth 0. Loopy one from Ogilvie. Raggett the target. Raggett attacked it, didn't get anything on it. He got something on the Tottenham man there, who will know about that challenge. And Spurs have got themselves a free kick inside their own penalty area. I think it's Sarr who is up, and the Blues is forced to take the free kick. Pompey got 12 minutes to go until the break. Coming down the left-hand side, Sessignon, whose brother Stephen, of course, twin brother, played against Pompey in their last outing for Charlton, on loan from Fulham. Spurs coming forward over halfway on the far side as we look the right, and then back to halfway, and Pompey getting in their defensive shape. Here's Davis in from that left-hand side, coming in field, looking to the touchline this time to Sessegnon to skip, and again Spurs being allowed to knock it around and then being pressured when they get nearer towards Portsmouth's penalty area. Now they try and up the pace to try and get through that blue wall. They've got it in the middle of the Pompey half, and now Davis has got space. He's got Sessegnon outside if he wants. Davis's ball is intercepted by Morel. Oh, that's a bad touch from Tunnicliffe, who needs to be careful in the box. Cross comes in, blocked by Swanson. Won't go behind, it will go out for a Spurs throw.
Yeah, Swanson even then, good block, but then he wanted to make sure that Sessegnon wasn't allowed to get on the ball and turn again. He stayed close to him. Good defending, and Tunnicliffe there. He played in trouble and then got back and defended well.
Son, 30 yards out on the left, coming in field, trying to take it past Swanson. Harry Kane comes deep. Haven't seen too many touches from him. Nice ball to Son, who tried to thread it through the Pompey defence, couldn't do so, and Hume, under pressure, fires it long. Bishop will chase. Davinson Sanchez will go back to Forster. Need I tell you, on the ball. 0-0, 10 to half time. That still feels a long time at the moment. Kane look forward for Son, but Griffiths comes out and slides to the ground to avoid going out the penalty area.
Yeah, you just see Harry Kane coming a bit shorter for the ball, don't you? I'm just wondering if he's thinking, I'm fed up with this. I'm going to go and try and make something happen, and we know he's capable of doing that.
I think exactly that. Ball goes out, Spurs have got to throw inside their own half, which Davis takes quickly and finds Davinson Sanchez, who cost £42 million from Ajax a couple of years ago. Down this left-hand side, Spurs have got the ball in field. Left for Sarr, chipped out to this left side, terrible pass. Goes out, Pompey through, and there's a bit of frustration in the home fans.
How much does Sarr cost?
It was. I'd have to look that. It was over 20.
Wow, and that's what you get for 20 million. Can't play a square pass.
Yeah, or certainly not one to a teammate, that's for sure. He was brought from Metz, but then loaned back last season, so obviously one they viewed as for the future. And there is just a bit of a grumbling hum around the home fans at the moment. Son, infield to Hill.
Don't think I've ever heard a grumbling hum before.
Well, the weather
makes a good description. I think
the weather waits for no man, Guy.
You're very right, Andrew.
As Spurs come forward, his Son outside the penalty area, and 40 yards from goal. Pressure from Pompey. They've had a bit of a let-up as Davis works it to the left. Still there defending to do Sessegnon. Can Pompey defend their box? A couple of step-overs from Sessegnon. Cross from Sessegnon. And Griffiths gets something on it as he waves it wide. Spurs back into the box. This is dangerous. Cries for handball. That clearly wasn't a hand. And Spurs are going to have to build again. But the defending has got deeper from Pompey. Hill driving down that right side. Dale coming with him. Nutmeg, and then a foul from Dale is not a free kick. And Dale is frustrated because I think he wouldn't have kicked the ball away if he hadn't realised it was a free kick. Spurs on halfway with Skip. Pompey have played Premier League opposites 6 times in cups since they were relegated. They've scored just 1 goal and lost all 6 of them. Morrison forward, Pompey win it back, but they're deep inside their own half. Dale is on a run, and Tunnicliffe is going to look for Dale, and he won't get there because it's going to go through to Forster, the goalkeeper.
I just wish he'd done that. You know, when you're up front and you want to stay on side, and you just angle your run, and he could have angled it away and stayed on side there.
Tunnicliffe wins Portsmouth the ball back. It is still 0-0 on BBC Radio Solent Sports. Swanson won't keep that one in. Spurs throw.
Listen, and they, to their absolute credit, the players have defended well, and when they get chance, they're passing the ball around 1 or 2 touch, and there's good tempo to the game.
Griffiths was affected by that cross. We're just seeing a replay of that left wing cross, but no white shirt was close to getting on the end of it. So 7 to the interval. Throw is,
of course, he wasn't to know that, and he had to get something on it. He did the right thing.
Tottenham 0, Portsmouth 0, 3rd round of the FA Cup on BBC Radio Solent to BBC Sounds. Tottenham move it over to this left-hand side with Ben Davis, and his Sessegnon level with the edge of the penalty area up against Swanson coming in field. Kane is challenged by Morel, who then challenges Son. The Kane challenge was an excellent one. The Sun one was a foul, and Spurs have got a free kick, which they went to take quickly, and they've got it 25 yards out inside left channel, and Kane fancies it.
Yeah, I think just well, certainly in the first challenge, a good experience from Morel. Realised the shape that Harry Kane had gone into to let the ball run across him, and he read it. And then, yeah, the second one, unfortunately, Son was in a bit too quickly.
And this is a chance.
Yes, this is a good chance. This is one of the things you've got to say when you see players of this ilk. Harry Kane on the ball, there's only one thing he's going to be doing.
Is it a good chance in League One?
Well, we always say it, don't we? We always say in League One this will either be going over or in the wall. Not quite sure about this one.
Kane has got 3 Spurs players building his own wall that obviously have to be a yard away from the Pompey wall. Whistle's gone. Kane to strike it. It's left of centre, just outside the penalty area. Kane steps up. He'll strike it right-footed, terrible, into the wall. He'll get it again, and it's still there for Tottenham. Sessegnon's cross is a good one, and the header is a terrible one from Davinson Sanchez. He got up too early, and he heads it over the bar, 0-0.
Yeah, I'm not quite sure, even if he'd timed that jump, whether it was still too high for him. But yeah, these League One players that hit the ball into the wall all the time.
Do you reckon Harry Kane would do all right in League One?
He did do all right in League One, didn't he? Was it Leighton Orient at the time?
You know, he's actually scored at Fratton Park for Millwall in a loan spell.
What league were they in at the time?
That's Championship, I'm pretty sure. Hackett can't win the ball in the air. Spurs trying to get on it. Centre circle. It's loose, and it won't quite fall for Pompey, and Spurs get it back and will build again from inside their own half. Ben Davies, 4.5 to the interval. It is 0-0. You're listening to BBC Radio Solent, available on BBC Sounds today in the FA Cup around the UK. Ask your smart speaker to play BBC Radio Solent. As Spurs have got it through Sanchez, the Colombian international, to Davies. Welshman, who was obviously at the World Cup not long ago with Joe Morel. And Morel got a touch there but couldn't win it. But then Spurs are very, very sloppy, and Pompey have got to avoid being sloppy themselves, and they actually work it fairly nicely. And then Morel gives it away to Skip, and Son's got it 30 yards out. And Kane, centrally placed, what can he do here? Lays it off, shot to come in on goal from Griffiths. Does that hit a hand? No, says the referee, and Pompey scramble it clear. Spurs will come again with Ben Davies up towards the penalty area, out to the left-hand side. Sessegnon looking to try and break into the box. He's got 2 to beat. His Son outside the penalty area. Back to Sessegnon. Space this time. Spurs causing problems. Sessegnon's cross. Morrison heads away, which leads to a big cheer. Davies gets just enough on the ball to send it back to Sanchez, so Tottenham can recycle and come again. Here's Tanganga to the right. Hill looking infield. Touch from Royal. This time Kane's pulled wide. Son looking to chip it forward. Danger here as Royal's got space. Closed down by Hackett just outside the box. Morel hooks it half away. Sanchez nods it down. Davies has got it 30 yards out, centrally placed. Didn't want to contemplate the shot. Tanganga, everybody except Fraser Forster is in Portsmouth's defensive third as Spurs keep this pressure going. Pompey know they've got 3 minutes plus stoppage time to the break. Son 30 yards out, keeps it moving, gets the ball back, forced back towards halfway, but Spurs have it again through Sanchez, and he'll look out to the left, and Sessegnon's one-on-one with Swanson if he wants to take him on. Looks into the penalty area. Skip makes a run. Pompey's fans try to lift them. Sar's going to hit it from distance, and he tried to hit it across the ball, and it goes well wide, 0-0.
Well, it's exactly what Portsmouth want. I mean, that shot from Sar, because he's run out of patience, you know, and that's what good defending does. You know, makes it hard for the opposition. They think I'm going to take this chance. You know, it wasn't a chance really, was it?
He's never scored for Spurs.
Well, but when the cards are dealt,
yes, very much so. Crystal Palace 1, Southampton 1. Ward-Prowse has equalised. One of 6 games going on. Harry Redknapp and Kevin Bond in the crowd here at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. But Harry's looking at his phone. He's obviously lost interest in the game.
I think he's got an agent onto him.
Do you think it's Andy Cullen offering him the Portsmouth job? Ball is thrown down the touchline. Tunnicliffe heads that infield. Pompey in an attacking position. Can they get the ball? Swanson's trying to win a throw there. He's not going to do that. Spurs then do send it out. And Pompey are happy for a throw, because 90 seconds to the interval, still 0-0, and they waste a bit more time. 08000 321 333 is the WhatsApp number. 81333 is the text number. You need to make Solent your first word, at Solent Sport. I would think neutrals have probably not loved the first 44 minutes. But if you're a Pompey fan, you'll be very encouraged with what you've seen so far. 70% possession to Tottenham. Isn't that less than Ipswich had at Fratton Park?
That was at Fratton Park, though.
That's true. And there's groans. That should be music to the Pompey players' ears. Frustration.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, should be. They should be really proud of their performance.
Last minute of the regular 45 of the half. Tottenham on the attack down the left. Sessegnon taking on Swanson, going back to Skip, that late addition to the team with Bazuma not playing. Moved across, Tanganga, will he hit it? Sends a cross in, Morrison heads half away, Son picks it up, corner of the penalty area, onto his right foot, tries to curl one, and curls wide. You knew he was trying to bend it back in, but he starts it too wide. Goal kick 0-0.
A couple of occasions now, Swanson and Tunnicliffe have high-fived each other, more than a couple of occasions, throughout this first half when they've defended well and nothing's come of the attack, and they are working together really well, forcing down the line or forcing inside.
To be fair, the angle that Swanson was forcing him to shoot, it was going to need to be a very, very special effort to curl it round him.
Yeah.
Not that Son's not capable of that.
No, of course. But they're doing the right. They're making it difficult for Spurs to score a goal.
1 minute of added time as Pompey play a ball in behind, which goes through to Forster, that leaves the booth. So Pompey are 45 seconds from being able to go and get themselves a drink, a well-earned half-time break, and pat themselves on the back, but the job is not done yet, and there is one more Spurs attack coming as Sanchez goes out to the right-hand side. Hackett's trying to get there. Spurs are 40 yards out, hugging that touchline. Royal plays that infield, touch from Hill, and back to Sanchez, keeps the ball moving. Davis 40 yards out, inside left channel. Pompey whistling, wanting the half-time whistle. Sessegnon to the dead ball line, blocked by Swanson. Corner kick.
I mean, how many times has he done that this half? Must be double figures. You know, and Sessegnon keeps going down there.
Well, they're going to have to take this corner fairly quickly as Morel comes across, and Morel's being told to back away 10 yards. He knows the rules. He's just trying to slow it down, but there is time to take the corner. Can Pompey defend this set piece? Song into the penalty area, to the danger area. Griffiths got something on. A foul was made on the Pompey goalkeeper, and he will clear it long. He won't even need to do that, because Thomas Bramall brings the first 45 minutes to an end, and there's wild applause from the visiting supporters. It's not quite so well received by the home fans, and Guy Whittingham will head to the half-time with parity. Tottenham 0, Portsmouth 0.
Yeah, and a great performance so far. You know, I have to say they've done everything they needed to do. Really, really impressive by the way that they're defending that last third. They're really well organised. And even when the ball gets through, Griffiths in a good position to come off his line. Balls into the box. You know, they're getting heads on it first, even from open play. And when when one of the players are beaten in that final third, there's somebody else. Gill or Son, or I've said about Swanson and Tunnicliffe on this right-hand side. It's the same on the opposite side with Ogilvie, Hume, and Hackett. They're making it really difficult for Spurs to get an opportunity to shoot. And Portsmouth have had probably the clearest chance with the one that the Hackett had.
Yeah, Forster called into action. It was a fairly comfortable save, but one that he had to make, no doubt. And really, Simon Bassey is going to be demanding more of the same. Keep that concentration, keep that shape.
Absolutely. I think he'd be really pleased. Being going, just saying, brilliant job, guys, but it isn't over. You've got to keep this up. If you can do the same for the second half and hopefully have sneak an opportunity that you take, then who knows what could happen. The plot thickens.
It certainly does, Guy, and we will bring you that full second half live on BBC Radio Solent. WhatsApp, text, tweets, all very welcome to give us your verdict on what you've seen. Half-time here, Tottenham 0, Portsmouth 0.
This is BBC Radio Solent Sport.
All square then in our two early kickoffs in the third round of the FA Cup this afternoon. Pompey doing a great job away at Premier League Tottenham Hotspur, and it's Selhurst Park, Southampton behind but levelling things up.
sliding forward from Anderson, rather lucky, but he found Zaha, and Edouard's through, and Edouard will score, and he gets it past the challenge from Chileta Sarr and past Bazunu. He may well have deflected off Chileta Sarr and done Bazunu off the Croatian, but either way, Palace opened Saints up down the middle way too easily, and it was the one stretched pass that I'm not even sure was intentional, went straight to Edouard, and he scores, having scored here in October against Saints, against them for the second time this season. And now in the FA Cup we have the same scoreline, Palace 1, Saints 0. The others make their run forward, it comes in, it goes past everyone, and it's gone in! And James Ward-Prowse has scored the most unlikely of direct free kicks he's ever scored.
Shot
it's
number
gone
2.
Past everybody, it's bounced in the penalty area, no one's got a touch, and Guaita was too slow to move to his left-hand side to stop it going inside the post. Ward-Prowse has his 4th of the season, his 5th FA Cup goal for Southampton, and that will go down as another direct free kick for James Ward-Prowse, and he closes in on David Beckham's record, maybe. It is Palace 1, Saints 1.
Second half commentary to come from Selhurst Park and the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. You can have your say on that first 45 minutes as well at Solent Sport on Twitter. 08000 321 333 is the WhatsApp number, 81333 on the text. Make Solent your first word, stick your name on there as well, please. We'll read the best ones out during the half-time break. We'll also look ahead to our 3 o'clock kickoff as well. Bournemouth against Championship leaders Burnley. This is the home of live sport across the south.
BBC Radio Solent Sport.
Hi, I'm your smart speaker. Did you know that not only can I play your favourite radio station, BBC Radio Solent, I can also keep you up to date with the latest news for the South, whenever and wherever you want it. Just ask me to play BBC News for the South, and one of those humans will be with you right away.
With the latest news for Hampshire, Dorset and the Isle of Wight, I'm Mally Law.
Well done, human. But can you calculate pi to 9,000 decimal places? I thought not. For the latest news from the South, just ask me, your smart speaker, to play BBC News for the South.
BBC Radio Solent.
Jordan Clark.
BBC Radio Solent Sport.
Elsewhere in the FA Cup this afternoon at half-time in the early kickoffs, Gillingham holding Premier League Leicester 0-0 at half-time. It's Preston 0, Huddersfield 0, Reading are 1-0 up against Watford. It is all square in our 2 live commentary games. Saints 1-1 away at Crystal Palace. Pompey 0-0 away at Tottenham. Pompey Peanut and touch on at Solent Sports. There's a good performance from Pompey so far. Makes you wonder why teams like MK Dons found it so easy to score against us. Keep it going, lads. Proud of the boys so far. And Dave in touch as well, a Pompey fan, says at last they seem to know what they're doing. Good shape and holding it well. Thank you very much, Dave. He says as well, nice to see Harry and Bondi in the crowd as well, speculating that they might be taking over on Monday. Thank you, Dave, for getting in touch. Hello as well to Fred, the Saints fan in Ventnor, says Saints as a whole are having a bad spell and negativity rubs off. Losing becomes a habit. He says, but let's not send up the balloon yet. We are less than halfway through the season. The tide will turn and a winning run will come. Fred, thank you for your positivity on this grey and gloomy Saturday afternoon. Glenn in Gosport, a Pompey fan, says great to get a goal, but we haven't scored a goal from open play for 5 matches. Thank you very much, Glenn. Keep them coming in, please, at Solent Sport on Twitter. 08000 321 333 is where you can get in touch on WhatsApp, or you can text 81333. Text and WhatsApp, remember, you must start those messages with the word Solent. Ryan says, proud of the lad. You couldn't ask for more. Hopefully we can keep this up in the second half. Ryan, the Pompey fan, on at Solent Sport. Right. The show is coming to you live from the Vitality Stadium in Dorset today, where the heavens have just opened again. It is a miserable, grey, horrible January afternoon out there. We will look ahead to this game in a bit more detail in just a moment. But as I sit here in the wind and rain, let me tell you about BBC Radio Solent's big winter giveaway very quickly, because it's here and we're helping you to hopefully banish those January blues. We could potentially be sending you and your family to one of the South's top attractions, including the likes of Marwell Zoo, Bournemouth Oceanarium, Portsmouth Historic Dockyard. You need to make sure I know you do this already, but that you're listening between 10 a.m. and 6 p.m. on BBC Radio Solent weekdays for the cue to call klaxon, just like these lucky listeners did.
Which English town has football teams called United and Wednesday? It is either...
I've got it.
It's either Sheffield or it's Oxford. What are you going to go with?
It's got to be Sheffield. Confidence is the way forward.
Oh, Wally! You're only right!
Yay!
Yes!
What is the name of the royal family's castle in Scotland? Is it A, Balmoral, or B, St James's Palace?
Balmoral.
She said with some confidence.
Yeah.
And you're absolutely right! Slay! I could hear the relief in your voice when you realised you knew that answer, Lynn. So,
Well, I was worried it was going to be something about fish.
Could be you next. Where will we be sending you potentially? BBC Radio Solent's big winter giveaway. It returns on Monday from 10 a.m. BBC Radio Solent Sport, just gone 25 past 1. It's half time in our two early kickoffs in the Premier League, in the FA Cup today. Third round. Pompey doing a great job, 0-0 away at Tottenham Hotspur, and Saints back from a goal down to level things up through their captain. Another direct free kick. James Ward-Prowse to give them 1-1 at half-time away at Crystal Palace. On the way for you from 3 o'clock today, we're with Bournemouth at home to Championship leaders Burnley. Really tough, tricky tie. And the Cherries have made big changes for the third round of the FA Cup in recent years, but Gary O'Neill says that won't be happening today.
I don't know what goes on social media or online, but obviously the fans are hugely important to me and the football club. The connection with them during my spell as interim meant a lot to me, and the Crystal Palace game I was just as dissatisfied with as they were, and we all want to have a club and a team that we can be proud of, and we all want to move in the right direction. There's no magic wand. You know, we are a side. I think if you compare the Man United performance to the Liverpool performance, it's the same group of players. The difference is huge. So I think you just need to from where I am, keep a check on the facts, make sure that the group is still working, still improving, and we'll put as many results on the board as we can.
That was, in fact, Gary O'Neill, the Bournemouth boss, talking about his relationship with the Bournemouth supporters. There's been a fair bit of unrest, certainly on social media of late. Unhappy with the results, with the manner of the performances as well. That's something we'll talk to Chris Temple and John Williams about later on this afternoon. We'll start our build-up to the Cherries game properly once the full-time whistles have gone at Selhurst Park and the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. We can now hear that clip from Gary O'Neill talking about his squad and his players today and how many changes he might make.
I think there are always decisions to make in every game. FA Cup game is a game we want to win, firstly. There may be an opportunity for some. We've got a couple of late calls to make on people, so definitely won't be making wholesale changes, but we've got a couple of late calls to make on a couple. So we'll see how they are.
And the rest of your squad, the wider squad, have you got players at the moment playing for their future at the club? We know that the new owner wants to bring in some fresh blood. Is that the situation maybe for some of the more fringe players?
I think I can refer back to my own playing career, I was always playing for my future, regardless of where you are and what the situation is. You're judged every weekend at, used to be 3 o'clock, now it's all over the place, but yeah, you're judged every weekend at kick-off. So that will never change.
So no wholesale changes for the Cherries today at home to Burnley. We'll bring you the team news into the second half of our commentaries involving Portsmouth and Southampton when it breaks at 2 o'clock. The Bournemouth squad have not long walked across the pitch here at the Vitality Stadium. Some of those fringe players Gary O'Neill just talking about: Jamal Lowe, Emiliano Marcondes, Siriki Dembele, although he has featured a little bit recently, hasn't he, in some of the Premier League games. All part of the squad walking across the pitch just a few moments ago. One player also in amongst them, Joe Rothwell, who is hoping to get an opportunity today. I spoke to him, the Bournemouth midfielder, former Blackburn Rovers player, ahead of the match today.
Frustrating, obviously, coming in, getting through pre-season, and picking up the injury when I did right at the back end of it. Obviously set me back 3 or 4 months, and then come back in, and obviously we had the break, so it was another stop in the season for myself. But obviously back now and feeling good again, so hopefully now it can be a smooth transition for the end of the season.
What was the injury?
I had a tear in my quad, so it was a bit innocuous really. Didn't really think anything of it during the game. Carried on, and just woke up the next day, and it was still just felt tight really. Obviously I had it scanned, and it came back worse than third.
Something you've had a problem with in the past, or completely new?
No, something new. I've been quite lucky throughout my career. I've never really picked up too many long-term injuries, so it was a bit of a, like I say, kick in the teeth, especially coming to a new club. You want to obviously impress and do as much as you can, and obviously, like I say, that set me back quite a bit, but ready to go, feeling good, so hopefully now it can be a smooth transition for the end of the season.
And you of course have had managerial change as well, so what's that like for yourself as well? Obviously you got an injury, you got a new manager coming in, not the manager that signed you. I guess you almost got to go again and impress.
Exactly, yeah. No, as I say, the manager that originally brought me in obviously left, and it was a case of starting again really for myself, and obviously having to impress the new manager that come in. Obviously the gaffer was already here when I came in, so he would have known what I was about a little bit, but as you say, it was a matter of getting back fit and knuckling down and showing him what I can do.
How far do you feel you are away from potentially breaking in properly into the first starting 11?
Hopefully quite close. Like I say, I'm feeling good now. Feel like I'm training well, doing everything I can to try and obviously impress the manager, and like I say, hopefully that if that start does come soon, I can do enough in the game to obviously try and cement my place in the team.
Bournemouth midfielder Joe Rothwell there ahead of their FA Cup tie at home to Burnley this afternoon. He's hoping to get a start. We'll bring you the team news at 2 o'clock, then live commentary on all frequencies from 3 o'clock this afternoon. The players coming back out the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. Matty on Solent Sports says best half we've seen in a long time. Up the Blues. Martin, look organised. Do Pompey, good half that despite the chance. Would replace Hackett at half time, and Tom Gross says better final ball on the break would make it interesting. Spurs should be down to 10 men. Tom, thank you very much. Let's get you back to the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium then. 0-0 between Tottenham and Portsmouth. Remember, you can hear the game on digital radio across Hampshire and the Isle of Wight. Freeview 722 on your smart speaker if you ask it to play BBC Radio Solent, and if you search for BBC Radio Solent on BBC Sounds and then hit play, listen live, you will get your commentary team for the second half. Former Portsmouth striker and manager Guy Whittingham is alongside Andy Moon.
Well, the Portsmouth press at half-time, understandably discussing good half, good concentration, impressed. A couple of our Spurs counterparts less impressed with what they've seen from the men in white, Guy Whittingham, and understandably so.
Yes, not happy at all, were they? They probably expected, at least a couple of goals in that first half for the home team.
We are underway for the second half, live on BBC Radio Solent Sport at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. It is 0-0 between Spurs and Pompey in the third round of the FA Cup. Second half underway. Pompey usual home colours going from right to left. That is towards where the away fans are in the corner. Spurs on the attack, going from left to right towards their traditional home end. White shirts, blue shorts, white socks, breaking into Pompey's penalty area. Forced out on the left-hand side, and Tunnicliffe makes a good challenge and then drives forward, hoping to get a free kick. He does get a throw for Pompey. Tottenham make no changes. They've got Fraser Forster in goal, Japhet Tanganga, Davinson Sanchez and Ben Davies are the three centre-halves. Emerson Royal and Ryan Sessegnon on the wing-backs. Oliver Skipp and Pap Matassar in midfield. Brian Hill, Harry Kane and Heung-min Son are their strike force. Hugo Lloris, Matt Doherty, Pierre-Emile Højbjerg, Christian Romero, Jed Spence, Clement Longley, Harvey White and Alfie Devine on the bench. I don't know if there was anyone who came onto the bench for Yves Bissouma, who should have played but was not fit enough to, so there was a late change there for Spurs. They bring the ball forward. Davis, that's a good run from Skip. Lays it off. Hill falls to the ground. Wants a free kick, won't get one. Gets back up again. Keeps the ball in the box. Works it to the left. Shot is blocked. Loose ball is hacked away by Swanson. And Pompey just getting a reminder there that it might have been good for 45 minutes, but there's a long way and a lot of defending to go.
Yeah, a lot of defending. This is where in these sort of games you've just got to enjoy defending. Got to enjoy not allowing the opposition a chance to score.
Morel picks up the possession for Portsmouth outside the penalty area, comes forward, and Dale can't win it, but he can win a throw.
Yeah, again, just need to secure that ball first of all.
Portsmouth have got Josh Griffiths in goal. Michael Morrison, Sean Raggett and Connor Ogilvie are the three centre halves. Zach Swanson and Denver Hume. I'm not sure if I should really call them wing backs because they've been more full backs in this game so far. Joe Morel, Ryan Tunnicliffe and Rico Hackett in midfield as Pompey win a free kick 40 yards out on the right touchline. A set piece opportunity and Raggett and Ogilvie go forward. Owen Dale is playing up front with Colby Bishop.
Well, this is what this good defending's allowing you to do. You get the
clear
ball,
foul as well.
Yeah, allow you to get yourself up the pitch, deliver into the box, make it difficult for Spurs to defend.
Josh Oluwayemi, Joe Piggott, Ronan Curtis, Kieran Freeman, Louis Thompson, Michael Jacobs, Josh Koroma, Adam Pace and Josh Dockerow are the Portsmouth subs.
Can you imagine how mad those fans behind that goal will go? Pompey score.
Do you think this stadium can handle it?
Oh, a lot of people not back in their seats yet.
Hackett to deliver from the right wing with his left foot, whips the ball in. It's a decent one and Ogilvie got his head to the ball and it's a goal kick.
Yeah, he got his head to it, didn't he? Just looked up in the sky there thinking, oh, if only I could have taken a bit off that.
He's got goals to his name, that's for sure. He has got that one, of course, on his fourth of the season on New Year's Day against Charlton. Fine finish from a corner. Bit of a different stage, isn't it? It's Tottenham 0, Portsmouth 0, BBC Radio Solent Sport. Tottenham on the attack down the left-hand side. Ball played in field to Sarr and then to Son. Hugging the touchline. He's got an option outside him in Sessegnon. Doesn't want to use it. Does whip across. Good one to the far post. Royals header is off the post and into the hands of Josh Griffiths. And Tottenham are inches away from taking the lead.
It's those sort of things that start making you think. The inside of the post and back into Griffiths, and it wasn't just Griffiths was there, it was back across the goal, almost to the other side of the goal.
And no one in white. Great leap from Royale, and he's guided the header.
Griffiths is at the other post when it comes back to him.
Now Pompey can pick it up through Hackett, but he can't get it under control. That's woken the Tottenham fans up. Free kick goes Tottenham's way midway inside their own half. Don't forget, BBC Sound is where you can always hear our pre- and post-match interviews. And at Solent Sport, at Mr. Andrew Moon on Twitter is where you'll always hear the latest news, including any updates we get with the managerial situation. I wouldn't be at all surprised. In fact, I think Pompey would be pretty keen to get someone in before Bolton away next Saturday. But we will watch that space. 0-0, Tottenham coming forward again. Here's Royale, who's come the closest to scoring. Coming in from that right touchline. Hume comes to engage him, puts pressure on him and forces Spurs back. Again, everybody bar Fraser Forster in Pompey's defensive third. Kane comes deep to receive the ball for Tottenham outside the penalty area. Into the box, 1-2, gets it back. Chance for Kane. What a goal! Harry Kane smashes it past Griffiths. It's a brilliant strike. There's nothing the Portsmouth goalkeeper can do. Harry Kane breaks the deadlock here. It's Tottenham 1, Spurs 0.
Well, we all know it's not a surprise it's him, and you've seen him do this many times, haven't you? Played the ball through a tight space, made a run off it, got the ball back, got himself half a yard, not even that. Ball's almost underneath his feet, he curls it into the opposite side. It's a Harry Kane goal, isn't it? Not much space for him to operate in.
It's impressive. Pompey just can't close it down, and the shot when it comes is absolutely perfect.
In between two Pompey players, the finest margins.
Great strike. Griffiths has got no chance. Through the legs of Tunnicliffe to get the ball back. And what a goal. And that is why he's one away from levelling Jimmy Greaves as Tottenham's all-time leading scorer. Hume trying to get Pompey going down the left-hand side. Harry Kane's name is sung out by the home fans. Hume is going to leave it for Ogilvie on the left side, 30 yards from goal. And Ogilvie is going to wipe the ball on his shirt and try and launch a long throw in towards the box. We forgot that you were here as the chant from the Portsmouth supporters. Ogilvie goes short to Hume, and Hume looks towards the edge of the penalty area, plenty of space for Sessegnon, doesn't get huge distance on his header as Swanson goes down the right. Tunnicliffe trying to win a throw and does that. I guess, Guy, we should expect this with Spurs. Second half syndrome this season. Second half they've been a different team as Swanson whips a cross in, cleared half away, and Spurs are going to be able to take it clear with Son. Pompey not able to force a throw or a corner there.
What we know Spurs will be able to do is if they can counter-attack with Portsmouth not having many numbers at the back. We know the pace they've got up front. So Portsmouth still have to be careful about how many they throw forward.
0-0. Spurs try and break forwards again. Royale trying to get there ahead of Hume, and he does, and it's loose for Son in the penalty area, and Son shot high and wide, and it's a goal kick. And suddenly gaps that were not there in the first half are appearing at the back for Pompey. 1-0.
Yeah, Hume there in the first half might have slid in better to stop that ball going in. That time he just tried to block it. Those fine margins.
43 home games without defeat at home in cups against teams from outside the top flight. That is what Spurs are trying to cause here, or trying to keep that run going. Pompey are trying to make a bit of history. Griffiths goes over halfway looking for Bishop, and Dale is being manhandled by Davis. He wants a free kick and he's not going to get one. Davis was just about subtle enough, and now Spurs come forward over the left hand side, and Morrison puts it out for a Spurs throw on halfway on the left hand side. Harry Kane's goal is the difference between the two sides. Just on a sad note, thoughts with the friends and family of Steve McLenigan, Pompey fan who sadly passed away earlier this week. Very, very sad news. Key figure in the early days of the Pompey Supporters Trust.
Yeah, just like to echo that, Andrew.
And thinking of all of his friends and family as Spurs come forward again with Son just outside the penalty area looking for the feet of Kane, and Spurs win the ball again, having given it away. They've got it just outside the left corner of the box. What can Sarr do here? Coming back on his right foot, goes back to Kane. Kane keeps possession. Just tell Kane coming deep. He's not happy with what he's seen ahead of him or behind him.
Yeah, he did that in the first half, didn't he? Just felt it was time he got involved more.
Kane into the box looking for Hill. Hill gets on the ball, being forced wide and out to the penalty area. Pompey have got numbers back. Now Kane finds himself on the left wing for Spurs, chipping it into the middle. Pompey pick it up and Morel loses possession. He can't get it clear. Son outside the box. Morel again with the challenge, can't win it. And then two Spurs players tackle each other. And Morel chips it forward.
Sessegnon and Son, I think it was.
But Spurs have won it again, but this time the flag goes up and Spurs put the ball... No, they can't even score when the whistle's gone. The ball's put wide, well wide of the target. It's a free kick to Pompey. It's 1-0 to Spurs.
Yeah, offside flag raised quickly by the assistant. Look, I mean, it's a blow to concede so early, but then you've just got to remind each and every one of you what's got you so far in this game. Only 1-0 down is because they've worked so hard defensively.
And look, as we said, 70 minutes. If you're 1-0 down, you are still in the game.
Absolutely.
Griffiths, the Portsmouth goalkeeper, clears long. Bishop flicks on, battle for the ball, which Pompey try and win, and it's going to be Hill who'll take it away for Spurs. Pompey start pressing up the pitch, but give up fairly quickly when Spurs get possession. And Tanganga, who missed much of last season with a knee injury, only played twice this year, tries to get Spurs going. Sessegnon coming forward down the left-hand side. The player who cost £25 million from Fulham. His Son looking to take on Swanson and hack it together. And Son tried to go through the legs of Swanson, whose legs were never open, and he clears it against the legs of Son, and it goes behind for a goal kick. It's still 1-0.
Yeah, Son not happy that he gave the ball away there. Chased after it immediately. I'd like to have seen Swanson just do a Cruyff there and go for the chips. As an Arsenal player, I expect he would have loved that as well. Ex-Arsenal player, sorry.
Kicking Son while he's down, perhaps. Harry Kane's goal, 6 minutes into this second half. the difference. You listen to BBC Radio Solent Sport, the home of every Pompey game, live, home and away, as Dale could be in behind here for Portsmouth. Ball just won't fall for Dale. Can he get on the end of it? No.
Yeah.
And Sanchez will clear.
The ball just sort of stopped, didn't it?
And then it bounced high, and that Dale wanted it on the floor. As Pompey have it again, Hackett on halfway. Dale is offside if the ball's played to him. He is. And Spurs are saying, why is the flag not going up? I think the referee's saying we'll just play advantage. And that's exactly what they'll do. Skip, who signed a new 5-year contract at Spurs in the summer, to Ben Davis to bring it forward to the left-hand side. Sessegnon, who has not really made the impact that was hoped he would when he had that brilliant season at Fulham. Here's Son, 30 yards out on the left for Spurs, and again it's back down to a walking pace, and it's when they accelerate that Pompey like to have the problems. Here coming forward, Tanganga to Hill, plays that short to Royale, and he's coming infield. He's passed a couple of challenges, he's into the box. The ball to Hill, pinballs off a couple of Pompey players, but Spurs still have it in a good attacking position as they go back to Davinson Sanchez, former Copa Libertadores winner. Diagonal ball, that is asking a lot from Davis, too much of anyone, and that'll go behind, and it's a Portsmouth goal kick.
Still working well, Portsmouth, and believe me, it's taken a lot of energy, all this concentration, staying with your men, especially when you just can't switch off for a second. The calibre of players you're playing against, they'll be in, and they'll be too late. So
they barely switched off for a second for the goal. It was just fantastic football.
Yeah, and I just want to pick out Morel. I think in that middle there, I think he's done brilliantly well in the game, but he's on at everybody all the time.
He's been good the past couple of games, Joe Morel. Here he is on the ball for Portsmouth, chipping it forward, looking for Dale. Flag stays down and then goes up. Remember, with VAR, he could have put the ball in the net and then it would have gone up. He did look off, and it's a free kick to Tottenham outside the box.
Yeah, fine margins. Certainly Dale, on 2 or 3 occasions now, in his first 13 minutes or so of the second half, he's been looking for that ball over the top.
Spurs bring it over halfway once more with Davis, the centre halves who are occupying positions that you'd often see your central midfield players in. Tanganga coming forward, he's got Hill in field, goes for him, Morel dives in, can't win the ball. Hill again to Skip, outside the penalty area, Tottenham now on the right. Royale, no look pass to Kane, Kane chips it into the middle, Raggett stomachs it and then clears it high in the air but doesn't get much distance, and it comes back to Royale, and Spurs will come again. Kane, 1-2, gets it back, looks for Skip, back to Son, left-footed curling effort, blocked by Tunnicliffe. Tanganga to Royale, only really Kane to aim from the middle, and it's going to be cleared away despite cries of handball. Loose ball which Tanganga needs to deal with for Tottenham, and Dale steals it away from him, and Bishop, it was the smart and correct pass, he just doesn't execute it quite right, can't find Dale.
If that was, mind you, if that was hit over the top of Sanchez, for Dale and Sanchez to have a race, I think Sanchez might have got there first.
I think you're right, you could be correct there, as it's going to be cleared long by Swanson, and Spurs have got it on the left-hand side and back into the centre circle. Tanganga to the right-hand side. Here's Royale coming in field. He's got Hackett to try and beat. Spurs pressing outside the penalty area. Royal 1-2 with Son trying to drive into the box. Goes down. That can't be a free kick, and it's not. It's a goal kick. And Son lying on the AstroTurf behind the goal and slow to get up. It is 1-0 in Tottenham's favour.
Yeah, there's no doubt a little nudge on him, but not enough to throw him to the ground.
Spurs' last FA Cup win and last FA Cup final was 1991. It used to be the old adage that Spurs got to the cup final in years ending in one. Of course, it was years starting in one as well. That was the problem. But for a club of Spurs' side, that is a long time to be outside at cup finals. They try and break forward once more. Hill just outside the box, trying to drive in. Morel dives in, doesn't get the ball. Royal with the chance to cross. Sessegnon wants it at the far post. He's going to do well to attack that one. Sarr will pick it up, left corner of the penalty area. Pompey with everybody back. Kane's got it 30 yards out. This is dangerous. Lays it off. Tanganga's going to hit one, and he's not going to hit it too well. And you could tell Portsmouth probably were looking and thinking that's not a terrible defensive setup. And a free kick for a foul by Colby Bishop gives Spurs a set piece 40 yards out, they lead by a goal to nil. They tried to take it quickly. Morel stopped it. Morel clashing with Kane. Second time they've been on the pitch together this year, and Morel might have talked himself into a booking, and he's not happy with the referee, Joe Morel. Raggett, his captain, comes across to converse with Thomas Bramall as well. And there's no yellow card shown, which annoys the South Stand, which is the main home end.
You know, because the referee's been fairly unnoticeable, he's having a good game, isn't he, really? You know, he's letting the game flow.
I don't think this is the most difficult game to referee you'll ever come up against.
No, it's not the most physical, is it? And there's not a lot of dirty challenging going on, but yeah, it's a really interesting game for Pompey, obviously, seeing the way the players are defending and working hard, and they look a real team.
1-0, the Spurs lead. Son's going to hit this 30 yards out, right of centre. Is he going to shoot, or is he going to chip it to the far post? He's going to shoot, and he's going to put it over the bar, and Griffiths never bothered diving. Always comfortable that was going over the bar. Well, Joe Morel this week saying that there has to be collective responsibility for Danny Cowley's departure. I'm sure not everybody in the dressing room would have mourned his loss, but by and large, the players very disappointed to see someone they described as a good man and a hard-working, incredibly hard-working man lose his job and depart because of this terrible run. That's not a great header from Ogilvie, and Kane has got the ball for Spurs 30 yards out, and he looked for Son and he couldn't find him, and there used to be a telepathic connection between those two, not visible on that occasion. Bishop wins a header on halfway, but Spurs will mop up and pick up possession on that left-hand side. Challenge comes into Morrison, and then Skip has got it outside the penalty area. Raggett will go back to his goalkeeper Griffiths, and Portsmouth clear up towards halfway. Bishop's wrestled to the ground and wins Portsmouth a free kick, which leads to a big cheer. Tottenham 1, Portsmouth 0.
Yeah, ironic cheers from the Pompey fans. Haven't seen much of that today in terms of Bishop being able to get a foul.
Tunnicliffe is going to take it, and you might as well send the centre half forward. It's a free kick on halfway. The stadium that we're in cost £1 billion.
Just don't want to be
to build
counter-attacked here, do you? Just make sure you've got Swanson's behind the ball, Tunnicliffe and Morel once the ball gets up there.
Not a good delivery from Tunnicliffe. Raggett can't win the header, wants a free kick, won't get it, and now there is that danger that Guy Whittingham was talking about, and Swanson needs to make this challenge, and he makes it, and makes it well, and Dale wants it played in behind. Instead he goes infield to Hackett. There is space for Pompey to drive forward into. Bishop holds off a couple of challenges, find Morel. The space is out on the left-hand side. Morel, 40 yards from goal, centrally placed, looks back out towards the right. Now can Swanson deliver? He looks for Tunnicliffe, that's asking a bit too much of Tunnicliffe, and the clearance comes forward. Back towards Morrison, plays that infield to Morel. What can Morel do here? Pompey are looking forward, and then Morel is going to pick it up and find Ogilvie. Good spell of possession for Portsmouth. He trail by a goal to nil, and just as I say that, Hume lets it go between his legs, and it's out for a Spurs throw.
Bit of rain coming down.
It's not the nicest day weather-wise. Forest Green's game off in the Forest Green Birmingham called off in the FA Cup. Quite a few non-league games off in the south as well. Probably worth checking before you head to one if you are making the journey this afternoon. Long ball down the right-hand side, looking towards Dale. Dale's got away from his man for Pompey, and Dale's fouled as he goes to ground, doesn't get the free kick, to his and the Pompey supporters' outrage. And now Tottenham come forward with Royal over halfway to Kane, back to Emerson Royal, and Kane has got it on that right-hand side, and Swanson tries to head it back to his goalkeeper, and inadvertently heads it behind for a Tottenham corner kick. It is 1-0 in their favour, their first corner of the second half.
Yeah, couldn't quite sort his feet out there, could he, to backtrack and get in position to head the ball back to Griffiths.
Corner kick which Son is going to take for Spurs. Takes it short. Sarr back for Son to deliver. Leaves it for Sarr. Well, he played into the box, keeps it moving. Sessegnon to hit one left-footed. Ogilvie blocks it, and suddenly Tunnicliffe and Dale think counter-attack, but Hill gets there first and gets it back to Fraser Forster, who put his right leg through it. It's not the best clearance, but he couldn't risk a miss-kick there that would have gifted the ball to Dale. Here's Morel and lays it off to the right-hand side to Swanson, who will bring it over halfway.
Just wonder if if there's a need for a bit of a change to threaten him. Yeah, threaten him behind, just to see, get a bit of pace on the team. Koroma, we know, is quick.
1-0, the Tottenham lead. About to hit the midway point of the second half. Kane's goal, the difference between the sides. Ball is played back by Hill towards the centre spot, and Sanchez moves it over to the left-hand side. Now Spurs just outside the penalty area. And here's Kane trying to turn away from Morel. He's got half a yard. Lovely ball into the box. Great chance. And how has that been missed by Skip? The flag stays down and Skip has blazed it over from, closer than the penalty spot. It's still 1-0.
What about the pass from Kane, though? Through an eye of a needle, wasn't it? Incredible pass. Well, we've got the monitor so we can tell now he's onside.
Pompey aren't going to get much possession on a day like today. It's just, can you make one of those forward moves?
Yeah.
Can you make it count?
Yeah, and the thing the other end now, you might start seeing chances because only 70 minutes in. Don't underestimate the amount of energy that's being used by Pompey players defending, and they've defended magnificently. Harry Kane with getting the sort of chance that he finishes, but that isn't always an easy chance. It's Harry Kane, obviously, but in terms of chances, Spurs haven't had many at all, and that's been down to good defending from Portsmouth, but it takes its toll.
And any they have had, Harry Kane has been the absolute integral key part in. So 1-0 the lead. BBC Radio Solent Sport, home of every Pompey game live, home and away in every competition, as Kane is going to play the ball infield and then lose it, and Pompey have it on the right-hand side. Morrison didn't really want a lung-busting run down the right, so goes back to Swanson. Will find Portsmouth's goalkeeper Josh Griffiths. It's not the best clearance, but it finds its way to Dale, who gets a blow in the back, and it's a Portsmouth free kick, virtually on the centre spot. Here's Tunnicliffe coming forward for Portsmouth, a rare foray. Infield to Morel, 21 minutes remain. Spurs 1, Tottenham 0. Raggett, who knows all about FA Cup upsets, to Hume. Infield to Hackett, back to goal. Hackett goes through the legs of Skip and then loses it to Hill, who skips past Morel, and then Hackett slides in and wins the ball back for Portsmouth. And suddenly there is a chance forward. Swanson's got Tunnicliffe on the overlap. Swanson wants it back. Swanson's into the penalty area. To Dale to hit it, and it's blocked. Pompey worked the shooting opportunity, they just couldn't make it count.
And the level you are now playing at, the time it got to Dale allowed Sanchez to come out and block it. At a lower league level, that might give you a shot. It was blocked by Sanchez because it isn't played there quick enough for him to be able to get the shot off without Sanchez realising it's coming and going out and blocking it.
And also Sanchez has got that extra pace. Good football from Portsmouth though. Dale struck it fairly well. There's Pompey on the attack again. Bishop heads that one up in the air, and then Spurs will volley it forward. Crystal Palace 1, Southampton 2. Adam Armstrong has put Southampton ahead. We'll keep you up to date with all of the other scores that are going on in the FA Cup in these 6, 12, 30 kickoffs. Here's Ogilvie. Goes back to Raggett, just outside the penalty area, to Morel. And Morel is forced back to Griffiths, but Pompey keeping the ball. Not a great clearance from Griffiths, and Spurs might be able to get onto it. No, touch from Tunnicliffe, finds Swanson, who keeps it in play on the right, and then slips, almost allowing Son to win it back. 1-0. And Spurs come forward again. Kane in the box to Son to hit one from outside the box. No, Morel to block, and Bishop can't quite gather possession for Pompey. He's got to be careful against Sessegnon not to consider a foul. Cross from Sessegnon, and Hume will volley that out the penalty area. Kane picks it up 40 yards out. He's got Dale closing him down, and Kane holds him off. And Dale keeps working. Can't help but think you're right. At 71 minutes, is there time for more energy? And Lorenzo, the first team coach, has called Louis Thompson and Josh Koroma back. So a double change, you would think, coming for Portsmouth, who trail Tottenham by a goal to nil. Dale blocks that ball forward and then chases to get it back, but Kane had run across him and Sanchez was miles ahead anyway. And Tottenham have the ball at the back with Fraser Forster, all in yellow, their goalkeeper from Newcastle. Came through the famous Wolves End Boys Club. Well, we've already seen pictures of Harry Redknapp at the game in the first half, although he was looking at his phone when the camera panned to him. I wonder if he's been more enthralled by the second half. Of course, the Spurs manager for that last semi-final back in 2010 when Portsmouth beat them at Wembley. Tottenham now coming down the left-hand side, just outside the penalty area. Son whips the ball in, it's loose in the penalty area, and Griffiths will fall on it, and Portsmouth survive and still trail by just 1 goal to nil.
Yeah, again, making it difficult. Defenders in the right positions, aware of the players that were coming in. That time Son had gone out to the left hand side, came in on his right, and it was Sessegnon, the left wing back, that found himself just outside the 6-yard box, but well marshalled, making it difficult for him by Morrison.
Dale, good hard work from him to win the ball back, and he's got Hume with him. Dale for Portsmouth just outside the penalty area, not too many options, comes back to Morel, who's been excellent today. Tunnicliffe's done his fair share of hard work as well. Ogilvie on that left side, infield, Hackett turns towards Spurs goal, Dale run offside, the ball to him from Hume is poor, and Tottenham will regather possession, and Skip will drive forward. Kane is immediately going to look up and see space for Hill on this right hand side, cutting infield, just outside the box, left-footed strike, hits the legs of Skip and comes to the right to Royal, cross to come into the middle, should be cleared by Morrison, and is. Now Tottenham will pick it up 30 yards out, leading Portsmouth by a goal to nil on the right side. Royal again, it's slowed down to a near walking pace. Hill goes back once more.
And this is when the legs just beginning to ache and become sore. You get back, you're in a position, you're just going from side to side, and then suddenly somebody makes a sprint and you've got to go.
Here's Tottenham with Sarr 30 yards out. He's got 6 white shirts ahead of him and he's only 30 yards out. The 3 centre halves coming further and further forward. Ball into the box to the feet of Kane. Morel was there with Raggett and gets it back to Griffiths.
Yeah, well, you could say a poor touch from Kane, couldn't you, that time? You don't see him ball bounce off him very often, but pressure from Raggett making it difficult for him.
Ball is in the hands of Josh Griffiths. Koroma and Thompson ready to come on. The first time we'll have seen Louis Thompson in a Portsmouth shirt since he broke his leg against Bristol Rovers back in September. Offside flag is up against Owen Dale. Free kick to Tottenham. 15 and a half to go plus stoppage time. 1-0, and Ryan Tunnicliffe is being withdrawn for Portsmouth. And on comes Louis Thompson. Koroma, you'd guess, for Dale.
Hackett. I thought it might have been Dale.
Well, there's still 15 minutes for a Pompey player to write themselves into Pompey folklore and grab themselves a goal on this impressive stadium. Dale is spoken to by Simon Bassey. Remember, 5 changes can be made. Tottenham come forward. And then they go back to halfway with Davinson Sanchez. Ball out to this right-hand side to Royal, who was left out of the Brazil squad for the World Cup. Short to Hill, the former Sevilla player, to the dead ball line, pulls it back and finds Joe Morel. And now Koroma tries to drive forward, can't get anywhere, and Spurs will win it back. Just see, though, there's a slight change in attitude of there when they won the ball, looking at is there a forward option rather than just get rid of it. Kane and Son trying to link up, and Morel followed the run and Swanson clears for a throw.
Swanson had to get rid of that one there. There was nothing on for him, was there? He couldn't take a touch, he'd be under pressure.
Ball on halfway, and Spurs are back with Sanchez to Tanganga. Jed Spence is preparing to come on for Tottenham. That'll be their first change. Hill on the right hand side, plays it in field. He's crunched by Louis Thompson, who apologises immediately, and Louis Thompson is back with the kind of challenge that we're somewhat used to seeing.
That's been missing.
Yes.
Hasn't he touched the ball yet, has he?
No, don't think so. There's only one Louis Thompson rings out. While that free kick is taken, let's just quickly nip to AFC Bournemouth. They're taking on Burnley. That's our afternoon commentary on Radio Solent. Chris Temple is there.
Hello Andy, Gary O'Neill goes pretty strong for the Cherries. 3 changes from the midweek defeat at Manchester United. Out go Kelly, Mepham and Lerma. In comes Zamora, Stevens and Rothwell.
That game available from 3 o'clock online and all of our frequencies. Jed Spence is on, and I knew I was going to do that at some point. Typically it had to be when he was going off. Ryan Sessegnon is off and Jed Spence is off.
Yeah, just that Royal's gone to the left wing back and Spence is coming as the right wing back.
Can Portsmouth make an opportunity in these final 13 or so minutes? Colby Bishop has got 3 goals in the FA Cup this season. Last player to reach 4 in a campaign was Alan McLaughlin back in 93-94. Here's Hill down this right side for Tottenham, up against Hume, cutting back on his left foot, going back to Tanganga, plenty to aim for. Kane is down by the dead ball line, and he tried a shot at goal, and that angle was too much even for Harry Kane. It's into the side netting and behind, and it's still 1-0.
Yeah, it's that ball through just skipped on, didn't it? He didn't have much of an angle to work from, but you wouldn't put it past him, that's for sure.
Absolutely would not. Marlon Pack, of course, suspended today, will be able to play in the EFL Trophy on Tuesday, and is then suspended again for Bolton in the league next Saturday. 2 trips to Bolton coming up in the next 5 days as Dale goes down that left side. Spence heads it away, and Pompey have got a throw down that left side. Hume, 40 yards from goal, and Simon Bassey is saying, no, leave it for Ogilvie. Let's try and launch one forward, or at least think of launching one towards the penalty area, although the centre halves don't go forward. Listen to BBC Radio Solent Sport live at the Tottenham Stadium with Portsmouth in the FA Cup. They trail by 1-0. Pompey have got it on the right with Swanson. Morel darted forward. Here's Morrison. Bishop's calling for it in the penalty area. Frustrated it doesn't come his way, but Pompey keep possession. Morel and Swanson in field. This is nice. Karoma to the right to Morel. Now the cross needs to come into the penalty area. It does. It's blocked. And behind for a Pompey corner kick, which the fans celebrate.
I was watching when Thompson laid that ball. My eyes went into the middle of the goal, and Bishop started making his run. And when Morel took a touch, he got deflated because he wanted that ball first time. And the pace on the ball that Thompson played allowed Morel. It's told him, play me first time, but he didn't.
So Raggett, Morrison, Bishop, Ogilvie, all to come from deep in the Tottenham penalty area. Pompey corner, whipped in towards the near post. Skip gets the head to the ball and heads it away. Hugh tries to head it back towards the box, but Tottenham pick it up, and now there is a possible danger on the counter-attack as Kane is coming through. Skip's trying to make a run, and it deflects, and Pompey get a little bit fortunate there, but they will take that.
Oh, I wonder why Harry Kane didn't go out to Skip. Skip was the obvious ball, wasn't he? And then he tried to play it through the legs. Morel, I think, and into Son. Cut out.
Another big FA Cup tie involving Portsmouth tomorrow. Portsmouth women away at London City Lionesses for the right to go away to Tottenham in the next round. Good luck to Jay Sadler and the team for that one. Here's Son, 30 yards out for Tottenham, laying it off to the left. There are a few more gaps at the back for Pompey now, as Royal to break into the penalty area against Swanson. Shot is well blocked, and Tottenham will let that go out for a throw. Good fortitude shown by this Portsmouth side. Can they just get something to happen? Can they ambush Spurs in these final 10 minutes? It's 1-0 through Harry Kane's brilliant goal. That is the difference. 2 changes have been made. We've seen Karoma and Louis Thompson come on. His Son on the left for Portsmouth to break into the penalty area. Son's cross is a good one to the far post. Hill's going to pick it up. The angle's tight. Tries a shot, hits Ogilvie, goes up into the air, and it is going to go out of play for a corner kick to Spurs on this near right side.
Yeah, ball all the way to the back post. And Gill getting on it, but Pompey defence just reacting well, getting themselves back in a good position. Ogilvie with the block.
Son to take the corner. The 9th of the game for Tottenham. Everyone in the penalty area, fairly narrow in the penalty area. There's 3 inside the 6-yard box in white. Griffiths has dealt okay with these so far. Whipped in, it's a good delivery. Raggett wins another big header at the back. Sarr's ball to skip is not the best, and that just slows Tottenham down, and Sarr will get it back, but Spurs having to build once more from back near halfway. Now out to the right hand side, 2 over there, Hill and Son, and Thompson is trying to defend them on his own. Hill's going to try and hit one from here, is he? No, he tries a cross, and he might wish he had hit one. Swanson's clearance not the best, but it's safely out for a throw. It's still just 1-0 to Tottenham.
Looked like a bit of tiredness in Swanson's attempts to clear it then.
I think you can understand.
Yeah, absolutely.
Sarr has got it out to the left hand side, and Tottenham with Sanchez comes out to Tanganga, and the substitute Spence, who spent last year on loan at Nottingham Forest from Middlesbrough, helping them to the Premier League. Tottenham try a crossfield ball. That's not very good. It's going to go straight out for a Pompey throw. Michael Jacobs and Joe Pigott are preparing to come on, and Bishop's just turned around and looked at the bench and thought, I don't want to come off. 1-0, Harry Kane's goal. Simon Bassey fairly coy when asked if he wanted the job earlier this week. I bet he's enjoyed this afternoon, that's for sure, and his Pompey side have given him reason to be pleased, and reason for those 9,000 fans to be pleased, although Morrison's ball can't find Dale, and Tottenham have got space with Jed Spence coming down the right over halfway, infield to Kane. Tottenham on the right, 30 yards out, no one in the box at the minute. Kane's pulled out wide, and he plays that back to Tanganga. Sarr, Morel now pushing a bit higher up the pitch. Time is ticking away, 6.5 plus stoppage time to go. Pompey till I die rings out away to our left hand side. Tottenham exchange passes and are going to get it back towards halfway. Sanchez comes out to this right hand side, terrible ball. He's lucky that Spence is there to mop it up because Tanganga wasn't getting there. 1-0, and Sanchez goes over to the left hand side. Pigott and Jacobs are coming on next time the ball goes out of play. Challenge from Morel does put it out of play. Now that double change can be made, and Morel is being withdrawn. What a shift he's put in today.
Yeah, absolutely. And he's jogging off the pitch, look.
Substitution for Portsmouth, replacing number 6.
Good shift from Morel defensively. Made it really difficult. Back tackling. He showed a bit of attitude as well, didn't he? Getting close and stopping quick free kicks. Like to see that. Simon Bassey doing the right thing, I think, putting on 2 attacking players for 1 midfield player and 1 attacker. Bishop works his socks off up front. Just nothing came his way today against obviously Premier League defence.
5 to go. 1-0 the score. Tottenham throw on the left hand side, and they'll go back towards halfway. Some fresh legs as Pigott chases it, and that means the ball forward is not the best, and Raggett beats Kane to it in the air. Ogilvie battling Spence, and Portsmouth win it in a very tight area, and they can't do much with it in midfield, and Dale has clearly fouled Sarr, and that's a free kick to Tottenham in the middle of the Pompey half.
I think what Dale's saying, he's actually pulled out of it.
He might have pulled out of it, but I think he still caught it.
The intent was there, wasn't it?
He went for the big challenge and then realised he's 80% through the tackle when he pulls out.
Yes.
Certainly some interesting names being linked with the Portsmouth job this week. The likes of Neil Warnock, Lee Bradbury, Chris Wilder seem fairly unlikely candidates to me. I still think they're more likely to go with a young upcoming coach. Sanchez has got it on halfway and will go back to Fraser Forster. He hasn't had many boos in the second half because he's hardly seen the ball. Clears it long, the former Southampton man. Pompey trying to get on the ball in halfway, and Jacobs has done just that and tried to dart between two players. Now Pompey have it through Piggott, laid off for Thompson. They need a runner over the top here, perhaps. That's not Swanson. You can just see his legs look like they are. His fuel gauge is in the red now. Ball forward, looking for the run of Dale. Dale's got on the end of it, but he can't bring it down. He wants a corner kick. It is a goal kick, and it's still 1-0.
So the fans behind the goal.
I think that's a goal kick.
Well, we get a chance to see here, don't we, I think?
We do.
Well, they might not show it.
Ronan Curtis is coming on, and that was Owen Dale's final action.
Number 11, Ronan Curtis.
Yeah, I think it's as good as Simon Bassey as well, you know. I know you want to win the game, but also, you know, being able to use all his subs, give every, you know, those players that have got, you know, the chance to get on the pitch, give them the opportunity to do so.
The goalkeeper Joshua Ayemi, Kieran Freeman, Adam Pace and Josh Dockerell are the only players who have not got on.
And they don't want to play out against a pressing Div 1 team, League 1 team in the 88th minute.
3 minutes to go. Tottenham still ahead by that Harry Kane goal. And Forster clears it long. Pompey pick it up through Jacobs. Is he the man that can unlock the door? Hume runs straight into trouble. Pompey work it to Curtis on halfway on the left-hand side. Curtis is going to go back to Raggett. You've got to think Pompey might as well give it a go now. Second goal doesn't really matter. Long one looking towards Hume. Sensibly Spence heads it back to Forster as goalkeeper, who's going to get wildly booed. And Sanchez holds off Piggott. And Forster gets reminded of his former club. Skip. Was he fouled? No, says the referee, and it's chipped forward by Sanchez. Morrison wins the header, and Jacobs will pick it up for Pompey and try and drive past Sarr. And what were you saying about that muscle you run into in the Premier League? Free kick Spurs, they lead 1-0.
Yeah, just lent into him, didn't he? Jacobs all off balance.
BBC Radio Solent Sport, every Pompey game live. We are on air from 6 o'clock at Bolton on Tuesday night, and then 2 o'clock back at Bolton. Hardly worth coming home. Next Saturday, EFL Trophy on Tuesday, League on Saturday. And the reality returns for Pompey. This is almost just a beautiful distraction from the season. And they've done well to make the most of it. Kane spread play. Royal on that left-hand side. He's got 4 to aim for. He'll break into Pompey's penalty area. Cross headed away at the near post by Morrison. And Thompson has it for Portsmouth, and they bring it forward. And now Jacobs looking to find Curtis. Ball's just behind him, and Spurs swarm over and win the ball back. Last minute of the 90.
Well, as that ball came in from Royal on the left-hand side, you had the 5 Pompey defenders in a row on that 6-yard box again. They've worked their socks off to take up those places.
Driving forwards, Tottenham try and come and go again. Kane with a slightly sloppy ball, and Piggott has it in the centre circle, and Pompey are trying to break forward, and here's Koroma, who's fouled surely, and that is going to be a free kick just outside the centre circle, and Davis is going to be shown a yellow card. Pompey are screaming off. I think he's going to get away with a yellow anyway.
Well, you have to say Spurs are not defending this lead that well, are they really? They're leaving themselves open to that counter-attack, and Davis had to foul there. You think Koroma with his pace, he's probably the one you hope would have enough pace to get away, but Sanchez is quick.
Sanchez and Davis both fouled him. There was no way he was going to get away from.
No, he wasn't getting through there.
2 centre-halves were not going to let him through.
No.
So the free kick is very central. Raggett saying, come on, far post, I'm completely free. 3 minutes of added time. We are into those 3 minutes now. Jacobs is going to stand it up into the Spurs penalty area. Raggett the target. Raggett wins the header, but he can't get anything on it, and Spence will clear it away. Hume, it goes to Jacobs. Back to Hume. This has surely got to go back towards the penalty area. Hume doesn't quite know where to go and goes right to Swanson. There's space down that right-hand side. Can Pompey get a ball into the box? Koroma's driving forward. He's into the area. He goes over and he doesn't get the free kick. And now Spurs have got a counter-attacking opportunity. It's 4-on-3, and this is played correctly. Kane into the area. Ogilvy's foot stops it, and then it's hooked away by Thompson. Spurs throw on the left. We're going to see Alfie Devine, the one Spurs youngster on the bench, come on for Brian Hill. And that's... I would say that was an optimistic ball to the ground from Corona.
Yeah, it was just a body check, wasn't it?
So Devine is on. Tottenham's throw on the left-hand side, midway inside the Pompey. The way things are at the minute, it's the away fans that are going to go home a lot happier than the Pompey, the home fans.
No, listen, I think Spurs fans will be happy they're through, but they won't be happy with the performance, but they've won the game. But yeah, the Portsmouth fans, where you can hear them, can't you? They would be singing like this if they didn't think the performance was any good.
Rain continues to fall. Time ticks away. We've got probably 1 minute remaining. If Pompey can just make one last chance, free kick, they get inside their own half. Dale's had that one shot in the second half. You had Hackett in the first half, and Griffiths is just going to launch this forward. Raggett's gone up to be an extra striker. It's towards him. Curtis goes up and wins it, and Piggott outside the penalty area looks for Jacobs. Skip got a really important touch in there, and Kane tries to get Spurs away, and Devine has got it, and he comes in field. Can he play Son in? He wants to slow it down. This might be enough. If Spurs go to the corner, time will run out. Royal into the box to Son. Can Tottenham get a second and kill it? They're not rushing. If they keep the ball, they've only got another 30 seconds to see out. Ball is now with Skip, 25 yards out. Short to Kane. Back to Skip. In field. Jacobs wins it back for Pompey. It's good for him, and then he can't win the throw or find a Pompey player, and it's out for a Spurs throw, and the 3 minutes are almost up.
No, I mean, if they don't get another opportunity, it's been a great performance on the pitch and certainly off the pitch.
Full-time whistle goes inside the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. Portsmouth FA Cup run has come to an end, but it's been a performance that the more than 8,500 Pompey fans can certainly be proud of and will be proud of. They've pushed a top Premier League side on their own turf all the way and have gone down to a single goal by a brilliant player. It's finished 0-0. Guy Whittingham.
Yeah, and it's a bit of inspiration by that one player, Harry Kane, wasn't it? It was the type of finish you see him do all the time, but he seemed to take charge of that situation on the end of the box, and was gonna make a difference, and he has. But yeah, every Pompey player on that pitch that can come off it feeling proud of their efforts today.
Certainly can, and they're going to go over and applaud the supporters. And in some ways it feels almost a bit like a palate cleanser, and well, you can laugh.
You can, Andrew, and I think the Pompey fans will be enjoying that performance today, because they wanted to come here. I think the fans have wanted to see a good performance, and they've seen it. They've seen a team not let them down in difficult circumstances, from the point of view that previous manager leaving, players not quite sure what's happening. But any manager that comes in can see that there is certainly a spirit in the camp. They've worked hard for each other. There's a togetherness. I thought defensively, listen, we know Spurs weren't at full strength, but their front three were at the present time. They're the front three that started against Palace, and beat them 4-0. So, yeah, very, very good performance, and everybody connected to the club will be really pleased with that.
And let's be honest, this is totally different to a League One, and totally different to turning up to a Bolton game and trying to get a victory. But maybe it's what they needed. Maybe they needed something like this.
Yeah, it's a reminder of what you need to do in football games. You need to be strong, you need to be together, you need to work hard for each other, put the effort in. Because there was definitely some tired legs towards the end there. We saw that, didn't we, in some of the body shape that was happening from the defence, but they still got back. They still defended their area. They still wanted to work hard for each other. And you've got to remember that, going into Bolton. And that's not Bolton midweek, that's Bolton at the weekend.
The Pompey players are all down in a huddle in front of the away fans, who are singing Portsmouth Till I Die loudly. Zesh Raymond and Simon Bassey are in that huddle, and a few words being said. These players are not going to forget what it's like to play in this kind of place, and I think this kind of venue.
Yeah, think Simon Bassey's got to take huge credit for that, because I think what he's done as well, he's set the team up to be hard to beat, but he's also, you know, the players that were probably disappointed not starting all got on the pitch, which is I think really good of him.
Yeah, the only subs not getting on, the goalkeeper Oluwayemi, Freeman, Adam Pace and Josh Dockerell. And Guy, it has been a team bereft of confidence in recent weeks. Does a game like this, will this give you more confidence going forward?
Well, listen, it should give you a boost, you know, for sure. To know that you've come to a club like this and made it really difficult for them. Did anybody expect we'd come away from a win? Well, I think there's always hope there, isn't there, that you can do that. But certainly,
and Owen Dale will just be thinking about that shot that was blocked, and Rico Hackett will be thinking tonight about that
only
swivel
if I've
half volley.
Connected it better. They will be, but yeah, you know, you have to say a decent performance. But they've got to take this performance into the league form.
Yeah, and this is the thing, and a bit like what we saw against Ipswich on the 29th, and then to Charlton.
Of course.
Ipswich, we saw a battling performance, almost the underdogs. And you've got to, that's great, but you've got to be able to go and be the big boys and bully people and say, we are the big boys, we're going to get 3 points.
Yeah, absolutely. You have to bring that performance week in, week out. You can't pick and choose at any level. So, you know, like you said, they know they've had to perform in games like Ipswich and games like today. Well, you have to perform, you know, Bolton away. You have to perform MK Dons at home. You know, that's what you have to do as a professional football. That's the clue in the title, professional footballer. But that's for the future. Today's performance, everybody should be proud.